It's Wednesday again, 6 p.m. We're here. Carla V Thinks Out Loud. I'm Carla Vasquez. Episode 30. We're making it. We keep going. We keep showing up. Thank you, Larry. Larry's here. I got Patty. I also have somebody in the house. We're changing up, guys. We've had a lot of comedians. Love you all. And this person can do comedy. She's all over the board, not a one-trick pony kind of person. But we have a female, and we also have somebody who's not a comedian. We have an artist, though. Bartender, student, works with community, like outreaching and putting on so many. We have Solita in the house. Thank you for coming in. Real name, AKA, I guess it would be the opposite. Victoria Gonzalez, AKA Solita.
Yeah, whichever. I'll claim them both today.
I'm so happy to have you, man. I know you had a trek getting here, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Larry, lead us into the show. Carla's got a podcast now. She doesn't know technology. Larry's pushing buttons and recording things for you to see every week. She'll be asking guest questions. She'll be saying a lot. She'll be wondering about the world. It's time now for Carla V Thinks Out Loud. Ate fish. We went to the aquarium. We won't see that. Guys, we're here with Solita. It's so good to have you, man. And it was like short notice. And you came through. A lot of people can't come through sometimes. But I appreciate you. And you really came through because you were telling us something. You had some sort of lift experience.
Yes.
We just get into that first.
Yes.
Catch up with that.
So a little prequel or pre-information. I decided to go more sustainable and I'm ridding of my car. Okay, so with that, I've been using like lifts, taxis, public transportation type stuff. So I'm getting ready at my house, having a little pre-podcast snack, some chips, a little sandwich action. I put my lift in and I'm like, all right, I'm going to be there on time. I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, it's kind of taking a minute. Like, he's not moving anymore. And he calls me and he's like, hey, I still really want to pick you up, but I did just have somebody in my back seat and like, it was an emergency situation. And I just want to let you know that there's a lot of dirt. And I'm like, a lot of dirt? I was like, oh, okay. I was like,
well, yeah, what kind of emergency?
It could have been worse. And I was like, emergency situation with dirt. I was like, okay. So I'm like, it's okay. I'll grab a towel. Like, I'm not worried. I honestly just like need to get to this spot. So I throw a towel down and he starts telling me the story. I'm like, so what happened in the car? Like, I saw the dirt. And he was like, yeah, I picked up this lady and it seemed like she was kind of down on her luck. And there was this guy. I was talking to this guy and he said, hey, this lady can pay you in more than money, if you know what I mean. Or he was like, she does other work. And he was like, are you her pimp? And he's all, no, I'm a good guy, but just so you know. And he was just like, I just didn't understand the situation.
I'm one of the good ones.
Right? He's like, I'm not her pimp, but I'm soliciting for her. Free advertising, okay? There's something else going on there.
I'm her manager. I want to see her do well.
Right? Someone requested the manager. Here I am. Yeah. So we got in the car, right, and we're driving over here. I'm like, oh, the sunset's so cute, enjoying my time. I pull up, and we're like, where the hell is the entrance? We're like, I don't know. The exit. We almost tried to go in through the exit, and I was like, nah, it's not going to work. So he parked in front of the building. I'm resourceful. I'll figure it out. It can't be that far, And I was like, okay, I'm going to get out the front, where this roundabout situation is. And I was like, Carla did say go left and then go left towards the fence. I was like, all right. Start walking, and I see what the first left looked like. And I was just staring, and I was like, damn, dude, the Rocky song came on. I was ready. I was like, dun, 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 dun. I'm wearing my Doc Martens.
Yeah,
and I was like,
docs.
Moon boots today. And I'm running down the parking line. I'm like checking the time. I'm like, bro, I was supposed to be there 5 minutes ago. I'm like running. I see people out there with their dogs. They're just like kind of doing their thing. And they like see me running, like kind of frantic. I'm like, yeah, sorry guys, I gotta go. Like,
what's going on
I'm
with
like
this
almost
person?
Sweating. There's cars behind me. I was like, I don't know what the view behind me is. As far as they know, I just like I'm going for a jog in this outfit. I don't know
the boots. Damn.
Yeah, so finally found the spot, and it was great. I was out of breath.
You called, and it sounded like you were out of breath. I'm like, did she run the whole way here?
I did. And I also was on FaceTime with one of my friends, Sam. Hey. Like, I wanted him to witness.
That is some multitasking right there.
I was like, I need a witness.
That is...
I kept him on the phone because I was like, I knew this Lyft ride was going to be, like, top-notch, I was like, I need to know what happened with the dirt.
Yeah, what happened with the dirt?
He just said that she just had a lot of dirt on her stuff. But
what?
I'm just gonna call it my dirty pimp story.
Dirty pimp, pimps and dirt,
pimps and dirt,
pimps and dirt, managers and mud.
Right. Yeah, it was a good run. It was a good one. My only exercise.
You got your steps in.
I did.
Got those steps in. Oh man, thanks for being here. Yeah, I saw you the other night at Founders, and I had like whatever scheduling things this week, and I was like, man, I want to lay down. I looked over, I was like, Victoria, I need to have you on. I need Victoria. And I had a couple of drinks in me, and I know maybe you're just like, she's just talking. But the next day, I'm like, are you still down?
Right, following up. You're like,
Please.
Hey,
hi,
I'm
here. And that's where I met you originally. So I've said before here on the podcast that my first spot ever doing comedy, and actually the week before I started, I went and watched. And it was at Founders, and you were there, and Brandon was there, and you guys were like bartending. And even that, like the vibe you guys set in the place, you guys are such great, like bartenders seeming in control, friendly, like always smiling, always like energetic. And that just like made me want to go back a bunch. So I appreciate you, because damn, you work at what, like 4 spots, 5? How many jobs do you have? What are we doing here?
With the light, how many jobs do you have? I'm like,
let me see your resume.
I know, right? No. I'm like, geez. I don't know. I like to kind of do like a variety of things. Bartending is like kind of my number one thing. I bartend the El Rey shows, the Inside Out shows. I work in the Speakeasy because Josh taught me mixology when I worked with him at Vernon's. And Elijah was nice enough to pull me into the bar program. So I've just been doing that ever since. I've done some like offsite catering stuff, some like contracted work here and there. I also do photography. I'm doing some booking. I have like an art collective that I like to do entrepreneurship and art-based markets and like resources with. So I'm cultivating
all sorts
that.
of artists.
Yeah, and then I've been doing social media as well for some of the El Rey entities. I have roughly 4 accounts. Wow. So just a little bit of everything, and then I'm a full-time student. Well, not full-time, actually, I guess technically part-time. Part-time student. I'm taking 3 classes, so I just kind of like to experience life in all aspects. You know, I really like nightlife, and live music is really awesome. For so sure. Yep. I like seeing big artists, and then also working with like grassroots artists, and then people that are kind of moving their way up the chain as they work with different venues and collaborations and things like that. So
supporting the local art, man,
watching things grow is just like my favorite thing, you know.
That's amazing. And you said you started with that like collective or working with them because you were selling plants outside of El Rey.
Yeah, right? Actually, plot twist, I am collective and collected.
Oh. I am.
And I'm only sharing this because we did have some events last year that people were like, who threw this event? And I decided to use that as my debut.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We've had press.
Dude, you put on some good stuff. I mean, and I like that. Like, you have your hands in everything, but you're so humble and you stay just like so active. You're really inspiring. Thanks. This is my like bringing you up.
Oh, like, I know. I'm turning red right now.
You got like real Chicana power there. We both were.
I know.
Like all chola.
Yeah. Till I die. Imagine.
I was wearing earrings last night of theirs too, from Mardi Gras or whatever. I'm like, so flashy. But yeah, I love that you just support the local art and the local scene, and that's what we need a lot. And Albuquerque really is, I think, growing. I mean, I've only lived here 4 years, and part of that was pandemic, and 1 year before that, and even from 2014 to now, is such like it's become bigger, and it's such a inclusive. At least to me, it seems very inclusive at this point. Everybody's just trying to hype each other up, which is awesome. I'm glad you have like a big part in that.
Yeah.
So going back to the bartending, you do mixology.
Yeah, I like to think I'm practicing mixology, yeah.
Do you do any of these bartending competitions and stuff? I know like Brandon does those sometimes, Brandon Smith.
I did one of them. I did one of them at Hollow Spirits. I got past the first round. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed like the community aspect. Like I feel like it's very rare that you have all of the bartenders in the same space because we all usually work the same nights.
Right, yeah.
So I really like just like having everyone's like team out, and we're all having like this fun competition, and making drinks is always really cool. It's kind of like painting, like when people pop up and paint a picture kind of situation. That's kind of what like making mixed drinks feels like. So you're like I don't know. We had some funky special ingredients which were fun, but as far as just making drinks go, it's always very just inspired, where you feel inspired, and you're using different spirits that originate from different plants, or different types of natural sources that you're able to infuse into like the final product. It's like different mediums, like oil, paint,
right, and how they mix together.
And so when you use spirits, you can think of them as like different paints almost.
Do you go like try everything like separately first, or like get familiar with each ingredient before kind of like diving in, or you're just like, hey, I heard this might be good with this?
Right. It's kind of like if you have a culinary palate, it's not as tricky as like you would think, because it's similar to like when you're cooking food, you know, like matching tastes.
Right.
When you're working with certain spirits, like each spirit kind of has its own distinct taste, you know, like so like tequila's from agave, so it's like gonna have that agave taste, or like gin is from juniper, plant-based thing, so it's gonna be very planty. So you think about what combines well with those kinds of tastes, you know, like.
Are there any things you should never put together that are absolutely like disgusting? That you've tried and you're like, no, never again.
I think the thing is anytime I've had those moments, I think I disassociate just a little bit, you know, like I'm like, I just think I don't even need to remember that this was a bad combination.
Like, throw that one out.
I mean, I don't know, you can overpower things really easily. Like some stuff, like rose water is super, super potent. So like if you put too much, it can just be like a really big slap in your face, or like lavender too. So it's like all about proper measurements, I think, as well, so that you're getting like those right doses of everything to get that final product that you want, you know.
I like that. I can see what you mean by like the painting. There's like a sense of accomplishment at the end of mixing all these things and having like a really rad outcome. Like I can see that. Cooking too. I mean, I enjoy cooking.
Like collaging too, in a
yeah,
sense,
exactly. Like putting all these mediums together and see how it works. That's rad. So then moving into art, I'm gonna jump back and forth.
Do your thing, girl.
Whatever. I'm just going where my brain's going. Follow my ADHD, guys. Let's do this.
Go.
We're on a ride.
I'm ready.
So then in an art world, you do photography. Have you ever done any sort of like art with like painting, drawing, things like that as well?
So I really, really have wanted to paint. I like, as a physical illustrator, I still kind of like, I'm trying to figure out what I like to draw, or how I like to draw, or what I like to use. I think photography is like a good segue to that. I think painting comes pretty naturally after you develop a certain love for photography, because they're very similar when you're doing like things like editing and post-processing. I think right now I'm moving, I think, more towards graphic design, because it's kind of like being able to manipulate your photos into creating like different pieces with them, aside from just like editing the photo itself. Right. So I'm trying to study more like typography and like design theory. I think inherently I have like a design brain, so like I like interior decorating. I like to do like obviously design work on the computer, photography, like clothing stuff. I like styling things.
Yeah, it's like beauty and some sort of an order to it that like
I think
works for you.
In a sense, I think art is all very
order.
like it's all very interrelated. So I think each different art form lends itself to another art form that's interrelated or somehow connected. So I think that movement of each art form, like I think if you can paint, you probably can make music. If you can make music, you can probably take photos. If you can take photos, you probably can write.
Like tap into that part of yourself.
Yeah,
in a way, but
it's all just different like practices, you know. It's like just like exercising. Like you're not always going to be the best at it like when you first start, but as you spend more time, you invest more in it, you become passionate about it. You have like that vision, that creation, and like that's where it's like really it starts, is like just having a vision. Like,
oh, I love that.
Trying to create something. You're like, how do I want to project this vision on what medium, what platform do I want to communicate this idea or like this feeling or this moment, so that I can replicate my vision or feeling or that experience for somebody else to also enjoy.
That totally makes sense. And that's in like manifestation too, kind of plays a role in that too. If you can see like what you want and moving forward towards that in little ways, like, you can feel that feeling. I've even had those moments of just like, when I'm gonna go on a stage, or even my head is like, I'll see somebody on a stage and like a big comedian be like, someday like I can see myself in
with
that,
the big lights,
like walking out, seeing the people from their point of view, you know, and just working slowly towards that. Dude, that's rad. So in photography, what kind of cameras or what do you use in that? Do you have a lot of like gear that you've collected over the years?
I've come to learn. I started with like a Nikon D80, which is like a decent camera. A Canon.
We had like
yeah, those are okay.
They're all right. You know, I moved on. I was able to borrow a Canon.
I'm not a Canon guy.
I now work on Sony. I have an A7C.
Those are nice.
I'm trying to also push myself to do video. I think it's just like an intimidating beast for me right now, just because I also have like I guess like expectation. But
do graphic design first.
Yeah, I think everything is like in the same pot, like in the same stew kind of situation. So I'm hoping it's like kind of just all gonna come. Oh, it'll present itself when it's time.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So then you know.
That's a great.
But yeah,
so outlook. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that get into video and don't know, like anything about like Illustrator or Photoshop or anything like that, and you can't you can edit video, but you're not going to be able to put any graphics in it.
Right.
Original stuff,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're like going in the right graphics next. So you're studying all these. You are you at UNM or?
Oh, this is so funny. Okay, I'm so all over the place. I wish I went to school for art. I ended up just falling in love with art on the way to getting through school.
Okay.
It really just started when I was selling plants outside the liquor store, and I met all these other vendors. And like in reality, like my own inspiration is everybody that I've met. Like
I love that.
Every time I meet someone, I hear them talk about their work, or I see all the love they put into it. They talk about how many hours or anything kind of across that board where they're like, I see myself doing this. Like that really inspires me to just embrace every artistic aspect of myself and like try all these things. But I go to school for philosophy. I'm a pre-law philosophy major with a minor in sustainability. I really like sustainable philosophy and like systematic thinking.
And what does that mean to like in layman's terms?
So
I mean, I could break down the word
Yeah.
for the listeners.
sustainability is based around like having things last for a long time, basically
Right.
to endure.
Yeah,
You know? So
but the
a lot of that
philosophy of
is
that, then.
yeah. So a lot of it's economic vitality. You want social and political balance there. A lot of like environmental justice issues are relevant to this kind of stuff. And then environmental vitality as well. So you want to preserve the environment, obviously, and a lot of like recycling. Relative to this, we are doing a seed bombing party at Power Plant. Actually, we're going to do a workshop where we're going to create seed bombs, and we're going to have a follow-up event there where we're going to take the bombs and throw them on unplotted land,
Rad.
water them, and it's going to be basically like an urban gardening project.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll get you details on
Yes,
that.
and where is that going to be?
Power Plant. It's a new coffee shop. It's off
Okay.
of 4th. It's right next to Festino's. It's also a photo studio.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think it's 3713 if I'm not mistaken. But you can rent the space to take photos too. But they're doing a ton of cool events. They just opened recently, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff for the community.
Let's
So
go there.
I'll get you the details too.
Yeah, that's rad. The plant bombing, and
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that would be in like a philosophy major. But you know, in my head, I'm like,
It's a
that all
minor.
makes sense. But like, or like you know, but
Yeah.
philosophy is part of that. I guess if
Yeah.
thinking towards the future, thinking of like, that makes. Oh, I love that.
Philosophy
You're
feels
the
like
future.
theory. What's up?
Like you're our future.
Oh,
Save us.
I mean, in a sense, I'm like, and even like people that are in high school for me are my future. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, guys, let's get our shit together. You know,
How old are you? If you, I
I'm 25.
don't mind. Okay, yeah, you're great, man. That's a great age, and like you're doing amazing things at that age, and you're doing it when you like. Your brain is still really like susceptible to learning all the new stuff, doing those brain changes. That's awesome. And a lot of people, even myself, it's like I didn't start comedy till like 23, 33, but I wanted to, 23 and younger. So you're living it and not like later regretting. I mean, I'm still doing it, but that's rad. More power to you. So photography, and then the plants. So you also have just like a green thumb, man. My roommate just got plants for the indoors just so we could have like some fresh air and life around us. And like there's a dog and things, but so we were even at Home Depot
Yeah, but
yesterday.
then you got to water them and
Yeah,
this
so
whole
It's all about
We've
the
been
right
talking-
type of plant. It's
I'm
just
just
like
kidding.
it's just like dogs.
What
Like,
is-
you don't want to get a dog that you wouldn't like taking
Right.
care of. Like
yeah.
if you're not a plant person, don't get a needy plant. If you want to just like have something chill, get something chill.
What's it? So what's a chill plant that people can get that
Like snake plants, spider plants, good like
That's what we
starter
were talking
plants,
about.
or like any of those. The sansevierias, any of the sansevierias, they're of the snake plant family.
Okay.
Those are really easy to take care of and are pretty tolerant to abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Cactuses, obviously.
Dude, I kill succulents.
Succulents. But succulents are not cactus. They're next to each other because they can have like similar conditions. But believe it
Okay.
or not, I mean,
They're easy to kill. I'm just kidding.
a
Just tell me I
succulent-
didn't do bad.
A cactus can be a succulent, but a succulent can't be a cactus.
Oh, interesting. Learning new shit, guys. Nature shit. We talk nature on
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
yeah.
because a succulent's basically a cactus, but with none of the thorns, right?
In theory, yeah.
Interesting.
But they usually need like a little bit more moisture to maintain them, especially like on their actual leaves.
Like spraying the yeah.
They love that kind of stuff, or like fog or like humidity. Like that's why like when you go to like like they have all the deserts in California and stuff. Like it's humid there, and like the succulents there really like the humidity.
It's better. Yeah, we're pretty dry here. And then does the altitude like affect? Sorry, that's just a random thing. Like our plants that we can grow. Like
So we have
and,
different like hardiness zones. So like it's more like I think about like heat tolerance too. And what I've noticed too is like things have been adjusting since climate change. So like some of the plants that typically would do super super well in the summer are kind of getting burnt because of the heat.
Yes.
So I think it's more about like just like the heat tolerance rather than like the altitude. But I'm sure it plays some role. You know, obviously if you're planting it in the ground too versus like in pots. Like I kind of specialize in like house plants. Like I can do gardening. I love gardening, but like my main gig, I like house plants.
The house plants. What's your favorite?
My favorite house plant.
You're like, they're all my babies.
There's one plant called a pitcher plant, and it's a carnivorous plant, and it has like this crazy cup. They're also called monkey cups, and you can feed them flies, and it has acid in its stomach, and it burns the fly and eats it. And like the cup, it stays up like this, but when you feed it, it closes like that. And it's a really trippy looking plant too. It's like got really like thin vines, and then it just has like the cup. And you can get different sizes. They have like little cups or like the big cups. The big cups are really cool.
Are they? Wait, sorry. Are they related to Venus flytrap?
I don't think they're related, but they are a carnivorous plant as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Do they get big or how big do they
get? I mean, I don't. There's like some cups I've seen that are like, I don't know, probably like the size of my hand.
Some monkey cups? What are they? Plant? I want to see what this looks like.
It's pretty trippy. It's pretty trippy.
Can you find me a picture?
Out some monkey cups?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the other name for it?
The real name? Pitcher plant.
Pitcher plant.
There's like it's like called Neo something.
Picture or pitcher?
Pitcher, like a Pitcher.
Down here.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Whoa! I see.
Nepenthes. I don't want to mess this up.
That's
so funny.
Like some monkey cups.
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Monkey cups right there.
Monkey cup. He's gonna share it to the people so they can see.
Let the people see.
Let the people see.
This is my favorite plant. And it isn't a little bit of an expert mode plant. She is pretty fussy, but it's worth it, babe.
Where do they grow?
What?
Where?
They're mostly like in the jungles. Like they need a pretty heavy humidity.
Yeah. Those are sick.
It can't be too hot. It's like they're
big.
They need lots of moisture. Usually, like I think like in Fiji and like stuff that's like really dense rainforest kind of stuff. You know.
You've traveled quite a bit, right? Speaking of foreign places.
I've been around the U.S., but I've only been to Rome as far as being outside the country. No, that's a lie. I went to Mexico this past summer.
Yes, I remember all those gorgeous pictures that you took. I was like, who is this lady? Hey.
In Mexico.
What's up?
Where in Mexico?
Where in Mexico? It was Playa del Carmen.
What side is that on? Or where is that near?
It's kind of like, I think, in like the coast-ish.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Honestly, I'm not that great with Mexican geography. I know that's really
Have you
upsetting.
been many times?
I know that's really upsetting. She's fake. My family is Spanish. I'm so sorry.
Are they?
Yeah.
So you're not
Spanish and Portuguese.
Really? So you're not Mexican?
Do you know any Spanish?
I know enough kitchen Spanish to know.
But you're not fluent like Carla.
No, I'm not.
I mean, I've lost some of mine. It comes back.
You said you were fluent.
I am. I understand fluently, and like at first, like give me like 15 minutes, and I'm like, all right, it's back. It's just like a different part of my brain that has to open up or something.
Yeah, for real, it really is.
And you even have to speak in a different part of your mouth, like.
Yeah, you're like holding your tongue differently.
It's like under your tongue, and it's like I have to retransfer my brain.
Like Castilian Spanish.
You don't have to. You can just talk normal white tortillas.
No, then they can't.
No.
Taco Bell Grandes.
When people do that, and
there's
they say
violence occurring in the
people
studio.
will be like, I speak Spanish. You're like, yo soy la blah 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 blah, and I'm like, I don't understand that. And they're like, what is Spanish? I was like, well, you're not. It's the pronunciation is important, guys. Like, I don't understand you.
I hate it when you hear like news anchors, chicks mostly.
Mm-hmm.
They'll speak normal English and a Spanish word will pop up. They'll be like Candelaria, and then go on
That's
along.
how this
and they'll just
city
really
is,
throw it
though.
down. They'll just really roll the
My
R.
friends used to make fun of me at because I was always the driver and we'd go through like Taco Bell or something and I'd be ordering. They would just like laugh at me. I'm like, hi, can I get a quesadilla and a burrito and a taco? And all my friends like, Carly,
All
I'm
Hispanic girls do that stuff.
It just like comes out. I can't bastardize the Spanish language. It's hard.
You gotta show it off just a little bit.
A little bit. I mean,
I'm built different.
Mom, there's something to me, okay?
You try and say tortilla like this.
So my tongue rolls.
Literally, right? You're all like, we're different.
So, but Portuguese and Spanish, that's a rad mix too.
I mean, my family does have like ranch history in Texas, which I think might be relative to Mexico, but as far as I was informed, my family is from Spain and Portugal.
And they've been here for a while, or like Texas?
Yeah, they're old
here?
like Santa Fe Spanish.
All
Oh,
Mexican,
rad.
all
That's
Mexican
like
chicks say they're Spaniard.
Old school Spanish. It was so interesting when I came here because
My friend Sarah says, she always says stuff because she's like, you're not from Spain. You are Mexican.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah,
Because
I don't know.
she's Mexican. She's like, I'm fucking Mexican.
But there's
You're
the
Mexican.
Spanish people who never really mixed with the Mexis, and then they ended up here. And so it was the first
Well,
place I
Spain
lived.
raped everybody.
Yeah.
Like, they were just raping
Right.
back in the day.
I feel like it's like, how far back do you want to go?
Yeah.
It's like, in reality,
Like we all
kind
kind
of came from this situation, you know?
Well, my Coronado is somehow related to me, so
I don't know why everyone flexes it. So they're like, oh,
it's not
I'm
good.
Spanish. I'm like, dude.
Our conquistador, yeah.
I'm like, New
I'm a
Mexico. I know everyone's like,
conquistador.
I'm Spanish. I'm like, what does
It
that
is
mean?
the only place that's happened. Like I moved places and they're like maybe, you know, Latina, Chicana, Mexicana, but here because of that, because it's so settled so long ago, there's people
Yeah.
who are the Spanish and then they're very specific about it. But it's like how I don't really like being called Hispanic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
You
it's a
don't
white
like
man.
that?
White man's word to me.
What do you like being called?
Latina or Mexican. Or
But not
Chicana. Or
Latinx.
Chicana.
But not Latinx. Right?
Latinx. You think you're Latinx?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I guess by definition we are, but I don't say it.
Yeah,
think
but
the X is
Hispanics
just-
don't go by that. I've never heard one. Every
Is it
Hispanic
more
I
in the
worked with, they're like, what the
LGBTQ
fuck?
community?
Yeah.
Is that why there's
Yeah,
the
it's
X?
to allow for non-binary
Yeah.
and movement within the gender spectrum.
Yeah.
I think it's
We
more
were
of a
just talking
politically
about that.
like correct term, you know.
Right.
I don't know a lot of people that verbalize Latinx, but like I think to be in reference of like the situation, like if it's like this is a Latinx, as to allow for this
In that
spectrum
moment.
of gender.
Well, from
Like
now
in a
on, I want
news
everybody
article
to
or
call me
something.
Great.
You know what? I
I'm
think that's
great.
fine. I think anyone can call you whatever you want.
Call me Great.
Great.
No more Larry.
I'm gonna call you Greg.
Just Great.
Greg.
Great.
Great.
Grape.
Yeah. Or grape. Grape's good.
Grape.
Grape drink.
Grape. Larry the Grape. Kool-Aid. I'm just calling it Kool-Aid.
There's already a guy named Kool-Aid. He's a comedian.
Yeah, there is. Oh, dang.
Really?
And there's an earthquake. You've done a little bit of comedy.
You know, I've dabbled a bit. I'm big on storytelling, and I don't think it's so much that I chose comedy, but comedy chose me because my life's pretty damn funny sometimes. I just
I love your stories on I'm always like, hey, she's going up. They always call her Nugget. They're like, little Nugget's going up.
Right, they're like, she's feeling it today. And I'm like, yeah, y'all's going to get it. Who fucked up this week? You're going to end up. I used to threaten people. I'd be like, I'll roast you on comedy. I'm like, don't try me.
Have you? Like, what are some stories that you've done on stage with people?
No.
Have you done?
So, like, I tried my first roast, and it was supposed to just be a joke. It was just, I'm harmless. I'm harmless. And it was of this time I went to Happy Accidents, and it was just a joke because their concept is, like, pretty satirical. They do a lot of, like, off-the-wall concepts, and I have a deep appreciation for that. I think that's cool. Creative thinking is awesome, right? And I, like, did a little spiel. I didn't realize, I mean, not that it matters because, I'll perform it again, but, like, one of the employees was there, right? And I guess they had let the owner know that I did the spiel, right? And she pulled up to our Halloween party and inside out and was like, hey, I heard you do a spiel about my spot. And I was like, yeah, and I couldn't quite read how she felt about it, you know? I was like, I don't know
She's
if you're...
very piercing eyes.
I just wasn't sure. I couldn't read the situation well enough, so I just really I was like, I do, and if you want to hear it, you can let me know when you're coming, and I'll do it for you.
Let me know just for you.
And I don't know if she liked that response either, but, you know, I was like, what do you want me to say right now? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like, yeah, I did the skit, and it's a joke.
Saying all in context. Come on.
I'm like,
funny.
we're not taking ourselves too
That's so
seriously down here.
funny.
We're all a bunch of damn bartenders. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come
You guys
on.
would get up. That made me happy, too, when I'd go there. Like, you and Brandon used to get up and do the comedy.
I didn't know that people thought that child labor was so funny when I tell stories about my dad.
Oh,
I was like, I didn't realize you guys thought this was that funny.
The picking the weed story
Bro,
is so one of my
Labor Day,
favorites.
religiously, every Labor Day, that man was like, yeah, Labor Day's for laboring. And I'm like, that makes sense. So for years, we would get up and pick weeds. And at some point, I was so confused because everyone else was going to the lake, having barbecues. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, why don't you work? And I mean, I'll say this. Politics are rising, but my dad was like, yeah, honestly, like that's some white people shit. And in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, we don't know anything about that, so we're just gonna stay with our laboring day. Finally asked my teacher, and I was like, so why is everyone off on Labor Day? I just don't get why I'm the only one pulling weeds here. So like, no one's supposed to work on Labor Day. And I was like, very good. Very good. I let my brother know. He was a young kid, too. I let my brother know, and his facial expression was so funny. I was like, guess what, dude? We're on the bus, right? Because my parents don't pick us up. So we're on the bus, and I was like, yo, Labor Day? And he's all, what's good? I know that's tomorrow. Not for laboring. It's anti-labor. It's not Labor Day. And he was like, what?
It was like finding out Santa wasn't real. So
no, literally.
That was like your guys like, what is happening?
I was ready for family dinner that night. I was like, Dad, ask me what the fuck
did
I
you
learned
rebel?
today. I was so ready. I was like, I can't wait to tell you what I learned at school today.
I know, tell me.
Right? I was waiting for the question. I was like almost bent over my dish. I was like, hey, Dad. And he's like, hey, what'd you learn in school today? And I was like, I learned that Labor Day is not for laboring, you prick. I'm like, making me pull these weeds.
I'm sweating over here.
Brownest kid in the whole class. I got the biggest biceps, widest back. Everyone's all, oh my gosh, how'd you get your face so tan? Me crying, pulling weeds.
Everybody's
for
paying
hours.
for the tans at the fucking tanning
Literally.
places and stuff.
I'm like, you can come over to my house whenever you want. If you want to like do it with me, you can have like a partner activity.
Yeah, get our squats in.
You already know.
Clean yard. Dude, that will rip your legs up, though.
It's a good workout.
I, like, cleared a whole front yard one time, and it was, like, me and my dad. I was an adult, though, and he helped me because the landlord didn't take care of it. And 2 days, but by the third day, I felt like I couldn't walk. I was, like, rolling out of bed. I was like, everything hurt. I was like, I'm just not.
Back from war, you're like, oh,
like,
my
what is
God.
going on?
You're just in the sun way too long. You're sweaty all day.
Speaking of war.
Speaking of
I felt like that's why you're like, is there anything you don't want to talk about?
So, yes.
Well, unfortunately.
So, as we know, it's been about, 7 days now? We are, the country's, even all the whole world is just energy feels off. I mean, fucking even in the streets, everybody's having car accidents. Everybody's feeling stress. Everybody's feeling it. I know this is small, whatever's, because I'm not in the Ukraine, obviously, but man, my heart just goes out for all of that. And it is scary. I listened to the State of the Union address last night. Yeah. I mean, I missed chunks because I was doing like deliveries, but, I mean, it always is kind of. It's kind of. I mean, like my mom when she never became a citizen, and I was like, why? She'd help other people become a citizen. She's from Mexico, and she'd help other people. She learned fluent English, all this stuff. I was like, just become a citizen. She's like, no. What's the only thing I could do differently is like vote for the next like lesser of the two evils. She's like, it's just or the next dumb dude. She's like, it's not really. Doesn't really do much. And I was like, that's sad to think. And it sucks that people feel that way. But especially right now when I think things are in turmoil, people feel real helpless. And like, what's my role? What am I supposed to be doing? And I'm just going to preach self-care to everybody at this point.
So
like, be your best self.
Do you think that, I don't know if it's true. I'll have to look it up. But do they have selective? Do the women have to sign up for selective service now? Really? They should have to. I think they should have to.
Are they talking about
equity is all equity?
Because they're saying that we're not going to be in the Ukraine, but we are going to protect the NATO countries.
Yeah, we're going to be on the outsides, like Poland.
And you just never know what happens in that area, so that's scary. I mean, my friend Jared, who's recently, Jared Ostrom, one of his friends got out of the Marines, who I talked about in here. No, it happened after. His friend got out of the Marine, Kieran, who I'm setting love to. I know that kid well, and he got called back because it's been less than 2 years. Because
he was on the reserve, yeah.
He was less than 2. He didn't realize that would happen.
Didn't get out.
He didn't think it was gonna happen. He didn't actually have to go and do anything, but he was just on the reserve list, and now he got called back. And
that's what you get for signing up.
It's like my stepbrother was gonna get out of the military, but I don't think they'll send him yet because he helps. He's one of the floor sergeant, whatever managers for the military hospital at Fort Bliss. So they kind of need him there. But his wife is also an LPN, and she's a combat medic. Yeah. That was a mouthful. Anyway, so, man, yeah, I guess women
what do you
should.
Think? Do you think people there's a lot of sensitive people out there right now. Do you think that that's just perpetuating it?
Of what?
There's being, we're going to be drafted.
I think it hasn't always been that way, though.
It was crying
scaring
about
drafting
Iran and shit.
I don't know. We
We
just
were in
didn't
war
have
for those
social
guys
media
for
like
20
we did
fucking
then.
years.
We
I
just didn't
think-
have social media like then.
The media's
Yeah,
really
that's
fun.
true.
So we
though.
know that people
That's
are
true.
complaining
We
more.
don't, because you go on TikTok, dude, and every other fucking
Yeah,
video
we
is-
didn't have. Everybody
like
probably felt that way
bombings and-
before, but now we just see it in our face, and that's wild.
Yeah.
This is like one of the most televised, probably.
It's like if you were seeing
Battles.
Vietnam
Live.
like live. Can
Yeah.
you imagine that shit, dude?
Yeah, we
Fuck.
were talking about this in class, and like I think also it's interesting because if you think about the media, like a lot of it is very selected media. So I was looking into some of this stuff, and like there's a lot of war that happens that we just don't get that much coverage for, and for some reason, the media is really deciding to give us a lot of coverage on this war for some reason, you know. So like it's very interesting to see as
Well,
we
that's
start to
because
get
it's
all
Russia.
this. Yeah, so it's like that's the other thing is like just going through that idea of
We
like
need to bring Rocky back, and there is no easy way.
right? Yeah. Honestly, the media is crazy, and like social media spreads so fast now. Like you said, we're watching war in like real time, which it's crazy because we're just finally kind of starting to work through some of these COVID situations, and it's like it's really kind of hard on I think us as a collective to just have all of this fear,
Yes.
that just like is not slowing down, you know, with all of these.
It's like
these
the collective
issues.
unconscious is really
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
hurting
really
and
tense.
unsettled. It's like very.
Yeah,
You don't think these
feels kind of
sensitive? You
unstable.
don't think these sensitive emotions are just perplexed on that?
I
Because
think
it's always been rough. I mean, think about World War II
Yeah.
and shit.
yeah.
Like, way rough.
I think it's like
Like
now.
you're immediately boots on the ground. Like you're not,
Well,
you know.
you have to think about it now, and in a good way. Yeah, people are sensitive, but I think also in a good way, people talk about feelings more than they used to.
Yeah,
Like in
it's
fact,
gross.
they weren't allowed to feel. Larry wasn't allowed to feel
I
when he was a
don't
kid.
like to feel.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
And now it's like a
okay.
little bit allowed now, and so people.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, with social media,
It's-
it's just
to
out
me,
there.
to me, I consider it like weakness.
Yeah, and that's often what we're taught, you know, is like to be sensitive is to be weak. But I think in reality, like at least how
Unless
I
it comes to my
perceive it-
daughter, then that's different. you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think it's like it's kind of an evolved sign of a human. Like your sensitivity is really your humanity in a sense, you know, like your ability to feel emotion. Granted, we all project that differently, but you know, like I think it's
mean,
like,
like you.
managing emotions is something that I think we're still all kind of touching on, like the idea of like you are able to be more sensitive, but how to properly manage these emotions, you know,
Yes.
communicate your feelings in a way that
I don't hear you crying about pulling weeds from.
Oh, there was tears back then. Trust me. The thing is,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, but you
know,
got like 10 jobs now.
right?
Yeah, the emotional
Yeah.
management then, and so like I'll feel them, but then how do you regulate or even?
Yeah, it's all about like I think regulating and like expressing things in a way that you think is effective. You know,
What is sorry, Jesswood and I we were talking a lot recently too about the 4 agreements as well as like
Yeah.
those things. Like I'm like try to keep it the 4 agreements. Oh my god, right now it's like don't make assumptions, don't take things personally, be concise with or be clear with your words, which I'm not right now. What is the 4th one? Oh my gosh, what's the 4th one?
I'm trying to remember what the last one was.
Assumptions. Don't look. Can you
Don't
look
go
up
to the bathroom in your pants.
No, look up
Don't
the
shit in
4
the speakeasy
agreements.
bathroom.
Can you look up the 4 agreements for me? Because they do help. I mean, I think we assume a lot, and sometimes we start in our head sensationalizing ideas that aren't even real and that haven't even happened, you know. And then people get carried away with, "What if this and what if?" I'm like, dude, be in the moment. Like that hasn't happened. Don't worry and stress yourself and give energy to worrying. And that comes from like as a kid, I worried so much. Like,
Always do your best.
always do your best.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody right now. Just do self-care, do your best. Sometimes when I was in massage therapy, I love their principal. And she said, sometimes you're not 100% and you don't have that much energy and you're maybe only 70. Then just bring that 70% with you. Like we're not, sometimes you're 40%, but just do your best on that 40%. And I'm like, cool. All right. It's like sometimes you're not 100 and we're not all 100 right now. So agreement to yourself. Make the 4 agreements.
Literally.
That's my
You
self-care
gotta try
message to
You
you.
gotta try it.
My other little exercise, I don't know if I've done it on here before. They do in stressy moments, and you guys at home can do it with me. You can too.
All right, guys.
All right, so what we're gonna do is like I think about just like the energy in the world, or maybe even specific things, and breathe that in, like a deep breath in, and think of that as smoke collecting in your lungs, and kind of sitting there, or like clouds, maybe thunder clouds. And now let go and think of like good lightning beams of good energy, like you recycled the smoke into some good energy out into the world. So
Wow.
just fill it up and then just put out the good.
Yeah.
And you don't have to keep that in there. You just recycle it into like good
Yeah.
energy. So that's my also tip for you can do that. Just
Do you have
takes
to close
10
your
minutes.
eyes when you do that?
Sometimes, but sometimes I'll just do it when I'm driving, where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling rushed. Like,
Yeah, you should especially do it when you're driving.
Yeah, you should
Close my
definitely
eyes.
do that when you're driving.
no, I just deep, whatever.
I'm like,
I
so that's what happens on the freeways whenever I can't get home and it takes way too long.
I'm just usually angry,
freeway
yelling
angry.
at people.
That's why I put on my Deepak Chopra like meditation things during. Sometimes when I'm rushing, I'm just like, he's just like, be calm, be centered. Dude, think of the universe and hold it in your hand.
Oh my
and like all
gosh.
these like what bring all the parts of you from the ends of the earth back into yourself.
It just
And,
cracks
like,
me up. It's so
it's-
like the soothing like spot.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're really working on things, it is violent. Like I don't think like everyone's like, oh, you're just sending yourself out. It's
That makes me happy.
it's
saying
pretty
that.
aggressive. I'm feeling like at least like what I've been experiencing this year, like trying to get my own shit together. Like it's not. I think there's like some toxicity to like this like sprinkly like sparkly spirituality thing where it's like, oh, I'm getting to know myself. Like in our humanity, we are in a sense a little fucked up here and there. So like it's like when you're really trying to work on yourself and like you're getting over these humps, with anxiety and stuff like that, it's pretty difficult. And I think it's like it doesn't help when people try and glamorize it, like, and they make it seem like it's this like cute process, you know. It's kind of
Oh, right. Yeah. People put the everything
Yeah.
yourself when really it's like this turmoil inside that you're not even turmoil, but this like thing that you're getting
it's an overcoming thing,
Yeah.
you know? Like it's uncomfortable. Like a lot of the things you're overcoming, you're like uncomfortable. It's like the thing where you're like forcing yourself to slow down and breathe. Like a lot of time it is like super uncomfortable, but it's like cool because it's like every time you're uncomfortable, you get to have that equal amount of growth. You know, so it's worth it.
It really
It's
is.
worth it.
Even like the breathing stuff. Like I had a moment in Tucson that I had like a little panicky thing. I was trying to leave. I was tired. The toilet wouldn't work at my sister's. I'm like plunging. I just got hot and overwhelmed and like started feeling like I wasn't breathing, almost hyperventilating. I was like, Carla, you haven't gotten to this point in a while. And back in the past, I would have just let that ride. I'd be like, and I'm anxious and I'm feeding into it more. But at this point, I was proud of myself that I got to a point. I was like, I need to sit down and like literally just breathe. Like, and I didn't even have to really remind myself. I just took like a deep breath. I was just, back in the day that, and now it still is, those motions are uncomfortable, but it gets a little bit easier to manage them. And then for people struggling, especially if they're at the beginning of any sort of process, mental growth, any of that, it is, like you said, it's really, that's a good way. It is uncomfortable, but it's so worth it.
Yeah. I think comedy is like really helpful with that stuff too. I think that's why I really like doing it too, is it seems like we've all somehow been able to like laugh at our pain kind of thing. And it's fun to be able to just like not take yourself so seriously, because I think sometimes it's like really hard to just get really caught up and like to just have like this funny reality where it's like, oh, it's a little bit of a joke right now.
Yeah,
like,
you can't take everything too seriously.
Yeah,
Man.
you kind of cool it off. You're like, yeah, honestly, I'm just always chilling because it's a joke. It's an ongoing living joke, you know. You're kind of just like, you should
Gotta
just
find the
buckle
humor in
up.
life. That was always the thing. Is like even as a kid, I was so worried, but I always found the humor in life. And even now, I'm like, when things are bad, I'm like, I'll find the silver lining.
Yeah,
Something. And
it's
usually
all
it's humor.
good.
But you're right. Yeah, I talk in the last. I've said it again, and I'll repeat. If comedy has really, I think, helped my mental health and my growth process in that, and it is uncomfortable to get on stage sometimes to put that out there, and whatever. But that makes you stronger too, because then you're proud that you just like did it. And you learn. And
I mean, even if you bomb, you still thought you were funny.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, dude, I had a freak. Yeah. You gotta have a small part. You're like, better luck next time. Next time.
I thought it was funny.
There's a small amount of delusion that goes into that keeps you going.
Yeah.
But you hope that after you've been there a minute, if other people around you are funny, saying you're funny, and you have good taste, and the people aren't funny,
It's gotta add up. The
like it
math's
adds
gotta
up.
add
I
up.
guess I'm funny.
Right?
Like,
I gotta be at least a little
bit.
funny.
I'm surrounded by the good ones.
Right?
And we all agree that those ones.
Right, because you're a reflection of me and you're funny, I must then be funny.
Yeah. And I try not to hate. It takes people a while. Some people at the beginning, it's like they're not funny for months and months, and all of a sudden they hit like some sort of like streak where it's like, damn, they have a growth in them.
Yeah.
And, dude, they're doing what
Be
they want to do and be
inspired.
themselves. And not to put Tyler Lovely on blast, but we even went to the Bosque yesterday and went for a walk, and we are just talking about refocusing and where we need to be putting energy and just changing. And then he was like, but then sometimes he's like, there's so many comedians. Do they need another one? Do they need a whatever? I was like, yeah, but if you live
There are a lot.
there's so many. And he's
coming
like,
out of
am
the
I being
woodwork.
whatever? I was like, true. But if you think about it, if just you and your life, it's going to make you feel fulfilled. If it is still fulfilling to you, don't let society. B, if you are feeling fulfilled, then you're a better human for society and a better part of the collective here. You know what I mean? Like, and that other people need. And we make people laugh. So sometimes we have to remember that. It's like about the audience too. They connect. They, you know, and yeah, there's a shit ton of comedians, especially now. Maybe the world needed it.
I love that. It should keep growing. I love that everyone wants to try.
There's room for everybody.
Yeah, but you've got people that
Gina George.
Yeah, but you've got some people that are just using that. You got some people that are just using that as a title and not. Doing anything.
Okay. There is a difference, and there are different levels. Some people are just wanting to do it at like a local level, and because it's a fun thing for them and they enjoy it. But then some definitely can see the drive that they're like trying to get pushed farther. And then some do it twice 10 years ago and say they're a comedian.
I mean, manifestation process, to each their own, you know, and it's like, I guess, like, what's the threshold to be like when you say you are
well,
aren't
that's like
or
saying,
not?
I did scrapbooking one time. I'm a scrapbooker. I'm
wondering.
Like, come on.
Oh, that you did it once. What do you think it would be? Somebody could call themselves a comedian. Like, where do you think the the point is in there?
Getting up there every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
And you're on like
so
shows.
consistency,
not every month.
Like frequency and consistency.
Not every month.
Yeah.
Every week.
Consistency.
Like you need to be working on your material. Like some people aren't writers, some people are. I mean, it depends on what you want to do with it, you know.
What if you're good at it though? Like, what if you don't do it that much, but you're good at it? How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, the crowd's gonna. I mean,
you know, because that's. I just say that because like, I don't do all of the things that I do on like the same consistent basis Monday through Friday. Like, I do some here, I do some here, I do some here, I do some here, which is also why when people are like, "What do you do?" I don't have like one final title to give anybody. I'm just kind of like, this is what I do for this many hours a week, and this for this many hours a week, and this, and I'm good at this, I'm good at that. I'm
doing it.
So then at what?
Some comedians might take that as a form of disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's like, the thing is like, if
you're just
final
going
product,
to an open mic.
Yeah, like, why would they be disrespected though if they're good? You know, like, oh, they pulled up, they only did a couple times, but they have good stuff. Wouldn't that just mean that they're passionate, they're good at, like, they're inspired, or they've crafted or perfected something, a technique
that they can still.
Are you on a bill?
I'm on a bill.
Oh, she's not talking about herself.
Oh no, not me. I'm not a comedian.
No, I'm talking about anybody. If they're not on
a show, yeah.
Like
so if they're not getting paid
mics,
for it? Because how many artists are good and not getting paid for it?
If you're not doing, like, if you're just doing open mics and you're not on a
Yeah.
bill, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to take it seriously.
But yeah, you don't want to see people on shows that don't really do it consistently. Like
you're not going to be good if you do that.
And it's a respect of the whole show put together.
There's nobody that just walks up on stage and is automatically fucking killing it. I mean, come on.
Right.
That might happen once in a while, like a freak accident, but no, you have to work on your material. Like, you know, you have to have some kind of a premise in your head, depending on how you work it out on paper or in your head. I mean,
you have to care about the art form.
You know, there's some people that just get up there and start doing a set repeatedly, and they already know where they're at and what's going on. They don't need to write it down. Like Earthquake, he doesn't write anything down. Patrice O'Neal, he never wrote anything down.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like
but he was
people
going
learn
up.
in different
ways. No, but he was
too.
going up every fucking day.
Yeah.
You know.
And people, it's that learning process in different ways. Or some need to sit down and write.
Yeah.
Some need to work it out on stage. Some work it out in their head. Some, you know, and I guess,
You have to. It's just like doing video and doing photography.
Yeah.
You got to keep creating content.
Right.
If you're not creating content, you're not putting it out there. You're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. I guess, like, also because, like, on the flip side of this conversation is this idea where it's like so for graphic design, I regularly get commissioned and I do it for my job, but I don't really call myself a graphic designer, and now I'm getting commissioned for things I don't necessarily consider a job that I do.
What are you using?
I use Adobe. I use Adobe.
What?
Well, so, like, I'm working on some of the Photoshop techniques right now because I've been trying to manipulate my photos a little bit more. I've worked in InDesign. I've been learning more on Illustrator. Sometimes I'll work through some of, like, the for, like, quick content that I have to flip really quick, I'll use the Creative Cloud. It has, like, a couple like light templates that I can work through because it's like you have to do high production, you kind of just, like, need to get some stuff done. But like for the fine-tuned stuff, like, I have some things I would maybe send, like, a publication or print. I work through like Photoshop, Illustrator, and Design, stuff like that.
You try out different stuff. That's right.
Yeah, I know Procreate's really popular right now, so I've thought about getting into Procreate because I've seen some people do some stuff.
No.
Have you tried that, Larry?
Yeah.
I don't have an iPad. I work all off my
That's
laptop.
Apple shit.
Yeah.
So
We're not Apple people.
I'm
I mean,
an
not that I
Apple
hate it. I
person.
just, I don't know.
Yeah, I never.
I've had a couple, but
I've always been Photoshop, Illustrator.
Yeah, my
and
dad uses
design.
CorelDRAW still.
I use CorelDRAW.
Yeah, my dad, he loves CorelDRAW, and I remember he tried to show me when I was a little bit younger, and I still was kind of like uncertain
This
about
is
it.
the first graphic design program.
Yeah, he still uses it to this day.
Way
so.
before Photoshop.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
your dad does graphic then? Or?
So my dad owns a coffee shop. I learned all these things because my dad opened a coffee shop when I was like 13 roughly, and he took me and my brother through that process from like kind of the buildup of the business. We would do mock-ups in the garage. We'd go places and pick up parts, and then like construction, we were helping with plastering, painting, loading stuff in. And then eventually we worked there for him as well. So he showed us like the back ends. We would go get supplies. We would go pick up payroll, talk about cost analysis kind of stuff. And then, yeah, we kind of just did some management for him for a while until we did other stuff. But he showed us a lot of the back way. So it's cool because now like I did my own startup 2 years ago, I think. It's Ancora Cafe and Bakery. They're a therapy cafe. Me and a couple of my friends, Natasha and Elena, we did the startup together, us three. And we ran it for a couple months, and it was really cool. We created a little community. I don't know if you know the Monsoon Music House. They're a collective now, and we got to meet all of them. I want to say this was prior to their collective, but they would come to the open mic on Wednesday, and they would do live music. And then we all kind of started regrouping downtown, and now we work with them pretty regularly with like music stuff. So
that's rad.
It's cool to see it all interconnected because we do the art walk stuff because I was working for El Rey before I worked for Ancora, so I was able to still do stuff with them during the pandemic. So we would do pop-ups at the art walk together, and then we would still hang out at like Ancora and do pop-ups there and music and stuff. So it's like a similar community that's moved around a little bit.
In the therapy cafe, by that, what do you mean therapy?
So they're a
In what
nonprofit. They're connected to Perfectly Imperfect Therapy Center.
Okay.
And the point of that cafe was to take people that were in therapy and allow them employment while they're in therapy to get job experience. So then once they finish their therapy program, they can go and get employment at other spaces as well because they'd be trained. So
that is so
that was
great.
the goal for that.
That's amazing. So you work in that as well, and then you were mentioning Art Walk. So
yeah,
let's talk Art Walk because it is this Friday, right?
Yes. So this is the last month that I won't be participating in Art Walk because we are opening Inside Out April 1st. Oh, yes. April Fool's Day. We're going to do a banger this season. We're going to open up the third floor of the El Rey, the mezzanine as well. So we're going to have some dual story action. And then, yeah, obviously art markets.
There for Cannibal Corpse.
Yes.
I got VIP.
Yeah.
I love that.
What does that include, the VIP shit?
Honestly, where you bought the tickets is going to have more information than me. I do the social media, but I'm not your ticket guy.
You suck.
I'm sorry. I'm also your bartender, so I mean, I am that guy,
You're
but
going to
not.
be there at Cannibal?
Yeah, I'll be working probably the
Cool.
main bar, so
Nice.
I work all the LA shows.
She's everywhere.
We're everywhere. We like to be there for the stuff.
love
I
it.
hate missing out on things. It's probably like, that's my Achilles heel. I hate missing out on fun stuff. I used to be so sad. I'd always work in high school, so I would miss football games and parties and all that stuff. So then once I graduated and moved out, I was like, I am going to all the things. I got a job at a bar.
Yeah.
It's been game over since. I'm at every function.
No more FOMO. Before we get to the bar life, I do want to ask more about Art Walk a little bit. So what is your hand in like this week? Like what's
So for the weeks that I have been off from booking Art Walk events, I have been using it for networking and also to kind of touch with some other locations that might be interested in partnering with us because we do get a lot of overflow whenever we do booking for art events.
right?
I did this event for Por Vida and I opened up the forum and it booked itself in 3 hours with 25 vendors.
Snaps. That event was big, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
so-
almost went down there, but
It's cool. So I know we're going to have a lot of overflow, so I'm looking to kind of partner up with other locations besides just 7th and Central to send our overflow over to so everyone gets an opportunity to still participate.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, we will be participating in Art Walk this summer, and that's kind of where everything, I guess, got started in a sense. It was originally just myself and a couple people doing just like a variety of stuff. There was like 4 vendors, I think, to start the first Art Walk we ever did. It was like, at first I did one by myself, and then I saw it was busy. I invited a couple of my friends, and then from 4 it went to like, I think 8 of us. And then after that, it jumped from like 8 to like 20. And then the next one we had like 30.
How many have you done, or how long has it been going on?
I want to say I did I don't know. I think I did the spring and the summer season this past year. I started in February. I started in February.
Oh, it's only been like a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
so it's
cool.
grown a lot in a year.
I've been trying to go. Jesswood and I usually head down
It's
there.
so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, if you guys don't know and you haven't been, it's like, and I think this week will be good because the weather, I think, is supposed to be nice.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to
Hopefully.
be a little windy tomorrow or on Friday, but hopefully it's just like during
wind,
the
guys.
day.
It's just wind. Bring your windbreakers. Those are in fashion these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a bunch of vendors. They have food trucks, all sorts of vendors from like art to jewelry to, like candy things.
Yeah,
to,
a little bit of everything.
I mean,
resin art.
Yeah, they have like musicians.
Graphic stuff.
Yeah, graphic stuff.
What's up?
Do you charge per table?
It kind of depends. Like, I really don't like to have to charge for space, So it's kind of just like based off the agreement I have with the location we're partnering with. Just because it's damaging to the community to do work for free, I also don't organize for free anymore. So some of those costs do occasionally go in for an organizing fee, I guess you would say. But I try to keep it as minimal as possible.
Patty should get in on it.
Yeah.
She's
If you're a crafter artist, let me know. I'll get your information.
Hey, we used to have them on the table.
Yes.
We don't do that anymore. All the her metal work. She's amazing. But yeah, artwork's great, and you can eat food. They even have the OTC circus or whatever there, which is fun. Go see local artists, listen to music. There's kids skateboarding in the areas sometimes.
Yeah, it's a whole jam.
It's rad, and you feel your community, and you feel a part of something, and especially right now, I think that's important for us to like just band together and feel not alone, man. Yeah, it can be alienating our emotions. So we did want to know, like, what are your favorite bartending stories? Do you have any good ones? Some wild people's.
And it's like, it's hard to pick these stories. I think now, instead of just stories, we've expanded it to where we have characters that come into the bar. Okay, and they all have their own ongoing narrative.
Like regulars and stuff?
Yeah, basically. And we sometimes fabricate stories as to what we think they do before or after they come here. Like we our friend Rico, we always know that we know him for his fashion sense.
Rico.
And we always
Rico.
I think Josh was neighbors with Rico for a minute.
Really?
And we always would talk about how we would think Rico would be at home dancing to his favorite songs.
I could see that. He has very fun glasses on that are different colors. I don't know.
Yeah, rumor has it he has a mural of himself in his kitchen on his wall.
No, he doesn't. I wouldn't put it past him.
Rico, if you're listening.
Rico's a very interesting cat, man. I think he showed up one time in just like a clear vest or something, even like yellowy clear vest with like red sunglasses.
Yeah,
and,
we all need a pair of Rico glasses.
Yeah, and I would like to raid his like sunglasses collection.
Yeah.
To just grab. He has a really cute dog though. Shout out to his dog.
Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna say what that dog's name is, but you would not believe what he named it. I cannot say it on air. I will not say it on air.
Is it a bad word?
Oh yeah, it's a bad word.
Is it the worst word?
I mean, it's not the worst word.
The C word?
Is it the F word or the N word?
It's neither.
We name names.
He named his dog Puñeta.
Oh no.
That's not bad.
For your dog. I'm like, oh my god.
I don't know what that means, but that doesn't sound bad.
Like a little pussy, basically. Like, I don't know.
Basically.
Like a little pussy, I don't know. Small vagina.
We've heard bad things.
It'd be better if they would call it a big vagina.
Yeah.
It's like a pit bull size.
I would say the liquor store, the bar stories are good, but the liquor store stories are better.
Liquor store stories.
They really are.
Because you also work at El Rey Liquor Store, which is
I did during the pandemic, which was just such a ride. I loved meeting all the regulars and everyone in between. Mm-hmm. Actually, the other day, I don't know, this might become offensive at some point, but
nobody wants.
So
we're thinking out loud here, okay?
We're thinking out loud. We had a situation on last Wednesday, that there was a bomb threat outside of Launchpad.
What?
They had the cops were surrounding the area. It was blocked off, and we were like, "What is going on?" My manager showing us some videos, and we got the the actual box of what they thought was the bomb, and it turned out it was just some mic cases that got left outside. So now we're calling it Bomb Threat Wednesdays.
Threat Wednesdays. It's Bomb Threat Wednesday again.
Yeah.
Wait, were you downtown? I didn't even hear the full story. Sorry, I cut you off. But somebody going around shooting people downtown recently.
No, stabbing.
Stabbing people.
I was home. I thankfully have been staying home.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
stabbed
stay
a lot
out
of
of
people.
there.
But it was like superficial stabbing.
Superficial
like,
stabbing?
like a couple inches
Yeah,
in.
you see how superficial it is.
Just a little stabby.
Just
you know,
a little
poke.
pokey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like the guy on the subway
Real
that sticks
casual.
you with
Just
the
real
pen.
casual stab.
No,
Happy
like-
Tuesday, Burke.
Just
Like
a
the
cash
guy-
stab.
Just a little
Remember
cash.
back in the 80s,
Your
they had
friends
the
like
guy,
you enough.
Remember back in the 80s, they had the guy on the subway that was like poking people with needles.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit?
yeah. They used to say like,
Oh
be
my
careful when you
gosh.
sit down on anything. There might be like a hypodermic needle trying to. They were saying that people were putting AIDS in them and then it's shooting people with AIDS.
Jeez.
And I was like,
On
what
the
is
New York
happening?
subways, just going around poking people with.
When I used to play
Wow.
rugby, we
Needles.
played in the war zone once, and they told us we had to peruse the grass for needles before we played.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a
Sounds so-
big problem over there, just right over here on
Hillsville
Eubank.
Chacon Park.
Oh my god.
Little that baseball park on Eubank. They had to tear up everything
Yeah.
and resod it.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
man.
It gets wild. They were inside out one of the last times I went before closed for the season.
Yeah.
I was outside like smoking like a bad kid. And then this guy I could already saw him go up. Oh my god, what is the door guy? His hair. Oh my gosh.
With his hair.
The door guy. Adam. Yeah, he was like, "No man, you're too drunk. Like you can't come in here,
Yeah.
this and that." And then he found me and he was like, "Hey, can I come in with you? Just act like I'm with you." I was like, he already
Just
said
act
no.
like
He
I'm
knows
with
me. He knows we're not together.
Let me just hide you.
And he's like, "Okay, cool. Well, you got anything on you?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Can I have your cigarette?" I was like, "Okay."
Guys all fucking taking
So
everything.
I gave him the
Right.
rest of my cigarette. I go in and I come out later and I feel bad. He's like, "There's paramedics and it's that dude. He's passed out on the ground." So I think he already had the drugs.
No,
I'm
he
not
was playing
sure.
around.
I don't know. He passed out. Something happened.
He
She
wanted to go
might
get
have
free
been too
drugs at the
drunk.
hospital.
He was also maybe a little too drunk because he didn't seem like that. Like
Yeah.
it seemed like he maybe had a home,
Yeah.
but he was just like,
He didn't seem
Little
like a
out there.
murderer.
he didn't seem or
He didn't come
Oh
off
my
as a
God.
murderer.
real quick tangent. So my dumbass, I don't even know. I love you, Jess Wood, for sticking by me through thick and thin during this weekend.
You
We
guys almost
love
get
Jess
murdered?
Wood.
No, but we we went to Tucson and on the way back we ran out of gas because we were just talking. In my head I'm like, stopping in Los Lunas, cool, just right before.
Both of you guys are in, like Thelma and Louise. Both of you two in the car.
I'm driving and she's in the
Oh,
truck.
that was destined to happen. You running out of gas.
Well, I know. And I've never really I did it once in my friend's car recently, but otherwise I don't think I've ever had that issue. But I was gonna stop for gas and then I passed Los Lunas. I was like, oh shit, I hope I make it to Solita. And we make it 4 miles past Los Lunas. So I can see Los Lunas and I can see Albuquerque and I'm like, and it's cold, it's 10:30 at night. And she calls AAA, she has AAA. 2 hours, nobody's coming, but they keep saying they're working on it. She calls 6 times, nobody's coming. It's getting midnight, 30. It's getting cold because we have no car on. It's fogging up the windows. 2 guys finally at 1 a.m. or no, 12:30.
Why didn't you just call me?
I didn't even think about that. It was late. I don't know.
Jeez.
I don't know. So here's what ends up happening. We did get rescued.
Patty would have
But
come and fucking brought you gas.
it was
I would have brought you
late.
gas.
I don't like that.
You just said
I
it was
know.
what, 9 o'clock?
It was 10:30 or 11.
We would have come. We're up.
That's true. I'm always messaging Larry at midnight. Aw. In the
That's so
future,
funny.
thank you. They're like fam.
Count on your friends,
Thank you.
Carla.
So it ended up having we did, but we waited, and 2 guys did show up separately. One guy in this tiny car, a tiny little Mexican dude. He's like, "Hey, you need help? You need help?" Blah blah. He's probably nice, but it looked like he came from the opposite side.
Like you did a flip to bitch and just, women.
Yeah,
She's
flip
got
a bitch,
titties.
somebody in trouble. It's almost 1 a.m.
Like
They
Cheech and
couldn't
Chong?
see us. Yeah,
Oh, she's hitchhiking.
Oh my god.
I think he might even thought I was alone because Jess was kind of my truck's kind of big and couldn't see. I didn't even roll down the window. I was like, it's fine. Someone's coming. And then some other guy shows up and another little car and comes and he's wearing we think it's AAA because he's wearing a vest that has stuff whatever on it. And then he's like, hey, you guys need help. It's this white guy who's kind of looking around. And, younger dude, and his hands in his pocket. I thought he was carrying something at first. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I barely like almost rolled. And I was like, no, we're fine. Everything. He's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And kept like looking at both of us. And I was like,
why didn't you say,
being
hey,
really creepy.
Go get me some gas?
Because he might murder us.
How would he murder you if he's going to get the gas?
Because after he gets the gas, then he'll murder us.
Jess would kill
you just
that
gotta
guy.
see more strange.
Jess told me not to open the window. She's like, no murders. So
no murderers. No murderers on this trip.
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, they have little cars. They would like steal my truck to move the bodies, and like that's why they had it.
Your mind just starts rolling.
Yeah, we at this point are calling UFOs to come pick us up. We're like, is somebody. So then AAA is not coming. They keep saying they're coming. That's why we weren't calling. And when finally at like midnight, I was like, fuck this, it's cold. Call William. Even though the garage is happening, I call William, and he was about ready to leave, and he's like, wait, no. My old roommate John, who I kind of know, he's like, he's out on the road doing Uber. He'll go get you. And he came and brought us gas and followed us to the gas station and like was gonna follow us home. And just this nice dude. And like Jess even was like, I don't know what I'd do if I was alone. And John even like gave her his number, like if you have an emergency, let me know. And just nice dude. And one of William's best friends, like they've known each other for years, so it's like that was a moment.
That's a serial killer, buddy?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
His accomplice.
No, William. So you know William?
No.
He goes to the mics. He has the long hair and the glasses. He kind of looks like he could be a conquistador.
Oh, I think I do.
Like he might look
He's
like
35 years old.
You know,
and
he
has
might be
braces.
a vampire. We're not sure. He has braces. I live
Gothic.
with him. So I live with him. And
Okay.
yesterday, part of my William Willer shit, I called you while this was happening. He went to go try out ladders and get them. And then and at the garage, he says something about, to get a new ladder so I can get into my ceiling. And I'm like,
That's where all the bodies are at.
Ceiling.
And that's what I said. I said, because that's where all the bodies are. I was like, now I'm creeped out. I'm going to have blood dripping through my ceiling soon.
No, he's not going to kill you. You're the roommate.
Yeah, I'm the roommate. I'm going to end up being the accomplice because I have told him I would help him.
Guilty by association.
Yeah, take some bodies to the dump or something.
You know, at least your exes know better now.
Would you? I asked Patty one time. I said, if I came home and said, you know what, I'm really sorry, but, you know, the dude in front of me fucking pissed me off and I killed him. We need to, you know, I got the body in the trunk. You going to help me? Patty's like, I would turn you in a second.
Would she?
Yeah.
I think.
I was like, why would you turn me in? She's
Patty's
like, why are you going around murdering people?
That's true, because in her head, she's like, he could flip out and murder me if I piss him off.
No, now I'm going to murder her because she said she's going to turn me in.
Now you're going to.
Now you're next.
I thought I was giving myself up. That Larry's real. Me and Larry sharing a lot. Is there anyone you would murder or help murder for or help clean it up? Is there anyone that if they called you and you were like, they were like, I need help.
You can't ask a Hispanic guy. That's a resounding yes.
What if it was even... What if... Okay, because there's a morality clause, and I used to teach kids this in foster... Well, not even in foster care, but... Oh, yes,
my
Patty's on the
thought
mic.
process on that is, what about the family of the murdered person? They'd be missing them forever.
Fuck that guy. He pissed me off.
Patty's so sweet. You're a good person, Patty.
No, she's not. She turned me in,
I know
dude.
Larry is a good person by association. Because if he's with Patty, then Larry's got to be all the
Well, I would never
all the
mur-
rough
anybody,
and tough.
but
He
I'm
ain't
saying
rough
when,
and
you know,
tough.
accidents
No, I
happen.
know. Well, that's the thing.
I feel like that's how Putin's
So this
feeling
is like
right
the morality thing. Like,
fucking piss me off.
yeah, there's certain people.
Do you know what he's using? Vacuum. Have you seen
I would-
these vacuum
I would
bombs?
Vacuum bombs.
What?
Yeah, it's a form. It's like a poor man's way to use a nuclear bomb.
What does that mean?
Well, what it does, it's a bomb that goes off and it sucks all the oxygen out of the area. And like, supposedly it's like really fucked up, but I have a video.
But what
I
does
should
taking all
show
the
you.
oxygen out of the area do then?
I'll show you. Hold on.
Oi.
They are doing, before I get back to the murdering thing, they are doing, so Jess Wood was on a show with Greg Romero Wilson and at Laughs in Tucson. She opened and like hosted, but he was talking about, he was like, yeah, they need to send just like the prisoners to like, because they're all jacked in there to war, to like fight. And dude, Ukraine ended up actually really doing that the other day. They were sending prisoners that have combat skills or wanted to do it to hot zones, letting them out of prison and
Really?
working
Oh
off
my
their,
goodness.
helping work
Dude,
off
have
like
you
their
seen
sentence,
the
basically.
supermodels that are going to the Ukraine to fight?
Dude, I
and the
saw
fucking-
that. I was on. Wow.
Wait, what? Supermodels?
No,
Yeah,
they're
the supermodels
supermodels.
are
From
fucking-
where? Here?
No, from the Ukraine.
Oh,
Like,
they're
'cause,
going
you
to
know, they're
fight?
all Eastern European hot
There
bitches.
was some 80-year-old man that like showed up wanting to fight. He had like, I like kind of cried during it. He showed up with like a little old suitcase with like a couple of sandwiches and like water and like a couple of changes of clothes and said he wanted to fight to save his
And do you know
grandchildren.
those 14 Ukraine soldiers that were on the island that they said died, that told the Russian warship to go fuck themselves?
Yeah.
They're alive.
Oh, thank God.
They were captured.
They were captured? Fuck. Oh.
No, they're fine. They're just getting a little bit of nerve damage.
Oh, I feel it in my nerves when you say. So back to murder. Is there anyone that... Okay, so morality-wise, because I used to teach kids this and whatever, is like there's certain levels where some things in emergency or for like
let me show you this real quick.
For self-perseverance, whatever you're allowed to do in a way.
Let me show you this bomb real quick.
For the sake of self-preservation.
Like, but in a good-hearted way. Resounding yes to moving the body for a select fee. Oh yeah. That's my sister, and I would help her move a body.
Yeah, you would.
I feel like family's a given.
A family's a given, and almost
except my dad.
My sister would.
I wouldn't help my dad move a body.
No,
you wouldn't.
White people don't. White people turn on each other.
And that is exactly why I still trust the man after making me pull weeds.
Yes, I would move a body for a select.
So here's that.
Depending if it's accident, if it seems like they're gonna do it a lot, then I'll turn them in.
There you go.
You're like, if it's not a consistent habit.
If it's not cereal. Okay, first.
Oh
my God.
Watch.
That has to be so bad for the environment.
Nah. It's okay.
Why is there a heart?
Ukraine, like.
Oh, I see.
Watch that.
Demographic. Whoa.
Jeez.
Thermobaric weapon, it's called.
That is insane.
Thermobaric.
Yeah, the environment, man. Like.
Crazy shit.
Talk about anxiety. Ugh.
The world is.
Yeah, and all the kids I hope I don't get drafted. We used to say that shit when we were invading Afghanistan and Iraq and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope it.
Rob Gibson up.
I'm out of. I think drafting.
Damn, Americans always making it about them.
Oh, my bad.
I know. I'm like, when are we showing up? But everybody always looks to us when a war happens if it's against our enemies. Like
they're all the most confrontational in the room. What do you have to say?
Yeah.
My bad. The BS shit was up there.
The Ukraine was even
the girl that always has something to say about.
They were saying, yeah. What you have to say is like, we don't want to say. No, come on. We need you to say something. And now it's like,
they're all.
Oh my gosh. Oh, were you showing me something? I thought you were showing me
No, I
something.
accidentally had the BS show shit up there. So.
Oh, BS show stuff. Yeah. Oh, he also produces BS show. Bhakti and 6. Yeah. Was 6 there yesterday? No. I was just listening. He wasn't.
It was Josh Fournier, AJ Matthews, and Book.
AJ looked all fly. You see, AJ.
Yeah, I know AJ.
He's been dressing really nice lately. He's a calm soul.
A calm soul.
I don't know. Yeah, he has like a quiet strength. Does that make sense?
He's like unquiverable.
Because there's some people who are quiet and they seem like nervous and like introverted and they seem like they're not in their zone. And there's some who are just like
vibing.
Yeah, and don't need to, be in the middle of things. Got to learn from AJ's. Got to be more like AJ, Carla.
We don't like to live a boring life,
He's only been doing stand up for a year.
Yeah, he's doing good. He just won the Gong Show. I'm doing the roast battle next.
Are you really? I'm so excited for you.
You should go. They're fun.
I would love to.
Oh my God.
My friend Evan, he I think he does the booking for that.
Oh, Evan Ronzi.
Yeah, dude, that's my friend.
He's the guy that puts it on.
Yeah, he helps with that. He was a judge on the Gong Show this last time too. He asked me to be on the next roast battle.
The homie.
Me and Courtney are gonna battle and stuff like nothing.
Okay.
Oh, and this Friday as well. I just got asked last night to be on First Friday's comedy contest at Tractor Brewing this Friday at 8 p.m. So before that, go to Art Walk. I think I will. Earlier, I told Jess, I was like, we'll see. I have the energy, and I was like feeling frazzled. But I'm going to be at Art Walk.
Yes.
And then I'm going to go do a comedy show and watch us. It's just fun to be in a new audience, even though... Yeah, Tractor, Rusty Rhymes.
And Rusty
Rutherford puts that on. So if you guys can go, it's free.
Is it free?
Yep, it's free. Just go out, vote for me. Come ask my number.
This Friday, right?
All that. What do you have coming up? Art Walk?
So, working the Speakeasy on Saturday. Art Walk is Friday. And then yeah, honestly, just like a lot of prep for like the upcoming like event season, really. So
The weather's
I think
changing.
it's
so
like a lot of not like behind the scenes, dare say, but a lot of just prepping going on right now, especially with the spring coming, like you said. Because I know like once it's warm out, everyone's just gonna be in high demand, high activity mode.
Oh yeah,
like,
especially
the
now
warm
that
weather.
the mandate is
Raw
lifted
dog in
and
the
stuff.
fucking air.
Yeah, anything. Anything to feel a little something.
Yeah.
You know?
The Roaring 20s are gonna
I
start.
need the sunlight.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god, it's already
Your
started.
20s, gosh.
The roaring 20s and your 20s.
You were born in like 98, right?
96.
96.
But everyone always
I-
thinks I'm
Oh
younger.
yeah, I'm exactly 10 years.
Yeah,
I
each
think
10
you're
years.
older. I
I'm
thought
10 years
you.
older than her,
Oh, that's true.
and you're 10 years older than her.
You're.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're 10 and 10. All the decades covered here, man. You seem like, to me, I always thought you're like maybe 30 just because you have like a wise old soul.
Thank you.
You know what I
I don't
mean?
know what that, like, I've thought about that comment before because I do
You
get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, does that mean, like, I'm hitting the relapse? Like I'm, like, trapped. Someone's trapped in here. And she's back
You've
for
lived
some
before.
reason. She
Yeah.
decided to come back.
Did you have memories of other people's lives as a child?
You
Like,
know-
you're reincarnated?
I don't know. I think my inner soul, I think this might be my last life if I'm lucky, if I do it right. You know, I think there's some good things in the works. So maybe if I fulfill the quest, maybe this is my last time around.
Next
So
dimension.
you believe that?
Going into the
Oh,
next dimension.
I mean,
Because that's the theory that I've come up with.
Incarnation.
That you
incarnation
keep having to do it over and over again.
until you're done. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I used to have these really crazy dreams that were like, I don't know if they'd say like prophetic, but I'd have like end of the world dreams a lot. Like a lot. And
I've
like,
said this on here
yeah,
before.
dude.
Sorry, I call
It's
my
called-
apocalyptic
It's
dreams.
called drugs.
no,
Oh,
I was a
little.
young child.
Yeah, same.
I was a
like
young
7,
child.
8, yeah.
I'd have nightmares of me and my family huddling in the living room and then we're just like bursting into flames because it's so hot type shit. Like real fucked
you
up
watched
stuff.
The Terminator.
You know, actually, you know.
That and RoboCop might have fucked me up.
I've always wanted to be kind of Matrixy, you know. We are kind of cyborgs with our phones, like they're literally like attached to us, basically at this point. And I only know because I lost my phone
You know what they're coming out with
to
now?
the clubs for a week,
Oh my god.
and it was a time.
You found it though?
Oh no, I had to file an insurance
Oh my
claim.
god.
ADHD, bro.
Same.
Literally, the object non-permanent situation. I have never.
Caleb Mulk and I were talking about that because he left his phone at our house.
Literally,
last night.
if it's not in front of me, it doesn't exist currently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think like all energy, the whole thing, like not destroyed nor created kind of situation, which is why I think everything like in a sense is familiar and non-familiar all at the same time. But with like, I'd have a lot of apocalyptic dreams, which got me into climate change and like climate advocacy. So I'm not sure. I think right now also we're like in this turn of like consciousness, dare I say, where there's a lot of change in like ideals and like a lot of like.
You know we had an ice age, right?
an ice age.
Right.
Right now.
I have a theory.
in
I
an
have
ice
a
age?
theory on this whole
Tell me the
climate
theory.
change bullshit.
Ooh.
Ah,
From
we
a
got a climate change naysayer. Let's go.
Not naysayer.
Flat
Not
earther.
naysayer.
Flat earther. Just kidding.
Flat earther.
I'm not saying that like we are damaging the earth, but it isn't nothing the earth can't handle. I mean, it's just going to keep rotating.
Well,
it's going to keep going.
It's not about what the earth can handle. It's going to be about what we can handle.
What
Because
we-
as we fuck up our weather patterns and all these things, it's going to become too unbearable for us, if anything. I think
That's why Elon Musk is going to Mars, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Soon we're just going to be like duking it out, going to the death for tickets to the
I
moon.
can't. I hope the
fucking
aliens
asteroid
come
will hit
save
us before
for
that.
things we-
You guys ready for the Thunderdome?
No.
Hey!
Mad Max up in this
The
shit.
asteroid will hit us before that happens, buddy.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I believe too, like the Matrix. I don't know, the collective unconscious,
yeah,
energy,
yeah.
all of that.
Aliens.
Like I believe in almost like kind of interdimensional things, even or
Spirits and I think spirits are real, and I only know
Spirits, yep.
because they be fucking with me on a regular basis, and I don't know. I'm
All
like,
it's
Hispanics
because
say
you're
that.
open. It's because you have.
Every
mean,
Hispanic I know.
you
is
have a
I
little,
guess.
you have a little witchy vibe to you, too, but
oh,
like
I
it doesn't mean that you're like have to be witch. It's like you have those energy to you,
You
and I think
know,
that's
yeah.
like the veil is thinner, and so
The
that,
veil is thinner.
That's why the just like how little kids
we
are
don't
like
we don't have the
open.
condom.
Right, there's
on
no condom
with
for the
spirits. They're just
veil.
gonna
Yeah.
kind of bust in when they will.
The spirit world meets the whatever.
I've been meeting them more as I continue to work in the bar scene, you know, because you're dealing with
Interesting.
like actual spirits and stuff, you know. For a while, I was like really trying to conceptualize my job, and I was like, I think I might be a bruja.
Yep.
You know, it's
What do you think the
Making
short
potions.
version is of dealing with the climate change?
The short version, what do you mean? Like,
well, I don't want you to go into a long.
oh, the whole climate. Okay, so yeah. So my thing is like, I'm hoping this is my last life
No,
because.
I mean, what do you think the solution is?
Oh, the solution? Well, so it's all about carbon. So we're going to have to really transportation right now is probably the leading producer in carbon, and also like war is a really bad footprint on the earth. So it's a phenomenon in the sense that I don't think war's really going to ever stop. Do I think that maybe we can start to practice some biomimicry with the way that we set things up so they're a little bit more, so say, sustainable and less damaging on like different levels? But there is no quick fix. I think it's all about just kind of trying to use technology to have things that are more eco-conscious that are going to allow for us to be stable for longer. You know, like, so for example, like architecturally, they have this thing where like zebras regulate their body heat through the color of their stripes, right? They now make buildings that you can use alternating colors to create energy to fuel the power of the building rather than using.
I've seen those like white roofs and things.
Fossil fuels are huge too. So
different like whites have. What's that color that they like? There's some sort of white paint that they like. With painting like buildings, the tops of them and
solar
stuff like
panels
that.
and stuff. It's mostly like transportation and like, I don't know, like capitalism. It's not meant for the human. Like it's literally like all money related. So it's like,
that's what scares me.
Are we ever going to really shy away from capitalism to a point where we can have an actual solution? Because it's not ever going to actually be about sustainability for us, even though we're the ones in the system. You know, it's like.
Yeah, but you're working 5 jobs. You're the poster child of capitalism.
Yeah, I know, which is ironic because I think it gives me a really like close relationship to that, and I can give a perspective as I'm working trying to build this sustainable lifestyle to see how capitalism, how it's so ingrained in the ways of how we have these obstacles with accessibility and other things as to getting that sustainable goal that we have, you know. So it's like I am super integrated in capitalism, which gives me a good perspective on where sustainability and capitalism might have some sort of meeting point.
Right.
You know, granted, you have to account for the accessibility and the privilege that comes within those things, but that is like that's a big question mark right now. Is that mesh is capitalism and sustainability? They say they're completely opposite, but like, are we gonna really have a choice to not mesh them? You know, so that's like the ongoing life study. That's going to be a life's journey to figure out. But I mean, it's an interesting journey. I like it. It's cool. I've been enjoying my work. I've been trying to figure out ways to use what I do to advocate more. And I don't have a car currently. How you got the lovely story on how I got here. So I'm trying to see.
What are other ways that you can give tips to people, like, you know, let's say in the future or now, whatever, about sustainability in their own lives, even starting simple if somebody feels like they can't be a part of the change? What are like little things that
I would say
like eat, you know,
be conscious of your consumption. Like maybe really evaluate how often you consume things, and not always legitimately like eating or drinking, but like from media to like the things you hear, the idea of just because capitalism comes from this overconsumption mindset and also this fear mindset that if you're not consuming, you're not getting this positive byproduct. So it'd be like this idea to like reflect, you know. You're not consuming something, you're not benefiting something, whether it's yourself or somebody else.
Yeah, that your time is going to something else. I was gonna say, and I feel like the capitalism going off that is like the fear. It was money, control, to have the control, to feel the need to control is because you have a fear of being out of control and you're not at peace. And so it's like just that until we can calm that like fear, which maybe never goes away. It's scary being a human. It's like, it's crazy, but everybody's just like, I'm scared. I'm gonna like die. I'm scared, whatever. And so because of that, I need this control. I need things to.
Fear is compelling.
Yeah, and then they consume things physically, buying or like watching to then ease themselves.
Yeah, like in marketing,
throughout the shittiness.
They say you want to sell to people like they're missing out on something. Like you're not complete until you have this. You need this in your life. You're lacking this. Like you will be better if you have this. And so it's like also like you're reflecting in the idea of like I have what I need. I will always have what I need. You know, like I have the ability to manifest all of my necessities, but also evaluating like what are necessities.
Right. Are you pretty minimalist?
I'm working towards it. The thing is, I'm coming from a place of not being a minimalist to where I just feel like I've just really wanted to try non-attachment, and as I've practiced it, I've realized how much I really have so much stuff that I don't care for. I don't need, I don't use. Like, I was really trying to see the things that I used for a while, and it's a lot of the same stuff. So it was like interesting to see how much stuff I hardly touch, and like in reality what I use is very minimal. What do I have that I mean,
what do you have that I keep moving. Now I have a storage unit. I'm like, I just need to get rid of so much shit.
It's kind of miraculous.
Because I haven't needed it. Have I thought about any of that stuff in there? I haven't. I mean, at some point, maybe I'll need those couches or whatever.
Yeah.
But I keep moving, and like for a while there, I was like, if it doesn't fit in my car, it's not coming with me.
Yeah.
So I just started, those things. Like I was keeping silly stuff from childhood. I'm like, I have the memory of this. I don't really
You don't even remember it until you're looking at it again.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I had this.
The non-permanent
Literally,
thing.
like, I didn't even remember I had this shirt, but wow, I have this shirt again. You're all stoked on it, and you're like, honestly, like, I didn't even remember that I had it. But now that I remember that I have it, I want to keep it. And I'm like, no, like, if it's not intentionally something that you want to keep, then, like,
I feel that way.
You need it.
Total tangent, my ADHD. I do that when I feel like anxiety or fear or worry of, is this even needed? It's not going to be needed in like, is this useful to me? No. And also, am I going to feel this way in 10 minutes, 10 hours, 10 days, 10 months? Like put it in like increments of like, this moment is not going to, this fear moment, whatever, is not going to, I'm not going to feel that in 10 months. So like, why am I so worried now? Like, let me feel it for a moment, but not let it overtake you. And so like, I think objects too, it's like have things that comfort you, but don't let them overtake. like I need all of this hoarding style, dude. I watch Hoarders, and that helps me clean so much.
That's so funny.
It makes me sad, but it also helps me clean.
It helps you clean.
What else should we talk about before we wrap up? I did so we talked about Tucson. We talked about that. I talked to you about, do you have any more fun bartending stories or anything?
DNA evidence reveals Hank the Tank.
Yes, so we're going to do just fun stuff.
All right.
I might even read from my phone or this article, but you guys can see it. So there was this bear that kept getting all the rap for breaking into places. This is just fun end of night animal news because I'm working on more animal jokes right now. I did a bunch of
I'm on an animal joke.
I'm on an animal. People really like when I do the hippo. They know me for hippo jokes now.
Yeah.
I'm working on dead squirrel bit right now as well.
Dead squirrel bits.
I've talked about bears a little bit, but this poor dude in California, they were like telling him, and the way it's written is my favorite part. Okay, said they misunderstood Hank the Tank was hungry trespasser, unbothered by human concerns like doors and manners, who broken into dozens of homes to maintain his 500-pound frame. Why do they have to call it frame? Like he's a house.
Looks like
poor
the
guy. They're fat shaming
like the bear
him
from The Great Outdoors. Remember that movie
yes.
with John Candy?
They're fat shaming this bear.
They're fat.
It's still mostly correct, although that was hold on. It turns out that there's many bears. Identifying bears simply by their physical characteristics can lead to misidentifying bears. Apparently humans think they all look alike. I'm kind of just paraphrasing all of this. They did DNA tests. So it turns out there's more. But my favorite part of the story is that out of all these break-ins, they broke into so many homes. The bears would just take the food and be so calm. They said that Frank the Tank would just sit there and stare at them and eat their
He's all looking at you, just kind of chilling. He's
she says, thus far, those who... Oh, my God, the article went wrong. I should just read it from there. Could you scroll down? A little more, please. A little more. All right, there we go. Thus far, those who have encountered the bears have said that they all have been perfectly fine house guests, aside from the food theft and the occasional trail of destruction left behind. He just sits there and eats, Aunt Brian, executive director of Bear League of Wildlife Rescue, whatever. She said, he doesn't attack them. He doesn't growl. He doesn't even make rude faces. Can bears make rude faces? All right. People in the area, it's a natural habitat for them. They've coexisted for a long time. Said not to leave food out. There was a line in here earlier, and they're like, we don't know where they got the taste for human food. I'm like, bears have been eating human food from trash cans, from things like this, from campsites that they leave out.
Oh, they got the taste for human food. They will
eat that. Yeah, they've chilled. They just how we get scared of them at this part in society. Like we've evolved so much, they've gotten used to us. I think they're just like, oh, those are the humans now. They're just humans. Like, before we were maybe like felt fear from them, but now we just realize they chill in their homes, they have good food,
It's just a human.
and let's go party with them. So that's just fun, cute stuff. Yeah, I talk about. I will tell also. My sister told me she went to the Grand Canyon, and there's squirrels there like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Genevieve?
Geneva. Geneva, I think Switzerland. They were like throwing soapy water out on like the patio of this place at the rim of the Grand Canyon and McMaster's. And then they were like, oh, I wonder what happened. And then they get on the bus to go to the shuttle, and this lady, when she gets off at a stop, she turns and looks at another person, a family with a service dog.
Yeah.
And she says, it's like a Karen. She's like, I've been having a great trip, and your dog, because of your dog, it's ruined my whole trip. Your dog killed the squirrel. So I guess the service dog killed the squirrel out in front of everybody, and the lady felt traumatized. Ooh. And my nephew was just like, oh my gosh, I saw my first Karen. She was just like yelling at the lady.
Saw my first Karen.
He's like, and he saw condors that day. He saw so many things, and that was his favorite memory. Was this Karen yelling at? But everybody else, once the Karen got off, they're like, "You're fine. Your dog's okay. It's fine. It's fine." But yeah, there's not dead squirrels, so that's somewhere gonna be in there. Animal news. Yeah, I feel like we've covered a lot. Is there anything you want to tell us about yourself?
You know, I really wish I wasn't lactose intolerant.
You're like, I love cheese. Are you vegetarian?
My body prefers that diet. Yes.
I hear it. Yeah.
Am I good always about it? I'm not gonna say that I am.
I'm there with you because my body is just like can't do red meat anymore. Gets real mad.
She wants me to be tender to her, but you know we like to try all of the things.
Your tummy's a hurt. Love it.
I think yeah, she's pretty sassy. Honestly, she's super temperamental. Like I think it's a her.
It's a her. Oh, okay. From a bartender, do you have a favorite drink? And then
like a favorite drink for me to make, or like a favorite drink for like if someone were to order something.
Both. Like, what's your favorite drink to make, and what's your favorite drink to drink?
I mean, my favorite thing for people to order is shots because it doesn't take shit to make.
There we go.
Lazy bartender.
Make a shot.
No, I make some good
grind
drinks.
Coriander.
I make some decent drinks. You know, I don't know.
She does the shit with the things on fire.
Yeah,
and
I like
other
to
things.
smudge stuff. I like cinnamon and like rosemary is definitely one of my favorite. No. And then to drink, I like mezcal. Usually like on the rock.
The
or
smoky smokes.
Whiskey's usually pretty good in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I try gin every now and then if I'm in the mood, but it's mostly mezcal. I like the smoky tequila. It tastes like you're licking black leather. There's something kind of sexy about it. I don't know.
Jesus.
I've never heard that. I remember in high school, the first time I tried, I didn't like, well, I partied in high school, but I'd only drink like beer or like Zima with Jolly Rancher in it or something like that. I'm old. But then my first shots I ever had, because I was good at like little precision games.
Ours was Boone's Farm.
First time I got drunk, it was like Boone's Farm, Mad Dog 2020, Cisco, and a 40 of Old E, and that was the worst combination for like a 14-year-old.
40s, remember those?
I would just
yeah, we used to hit 40s when I'd skate like a bunch of monsters.
Dude, 40, yeah, Edward 40 hands. But the first shots I ever had at parties was like, I like precision games like pool and darts and things. And they're like, Carla, come play quarters. But it was mezcal. Like shots.
Wow.
And I was so happy that I like made them, and I kept making them all. And at the end I realized like it was so smoky. Like I took a shot just on my own to be a pal, and I was like, this is too much for my, so I didn't like it. Now I have a taste for it though.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because my mom, like the district of Mexico she lives in, or the state, is like mezcal is like a big produced there a lot, all the blue agave, just like everywhere. It's great. So you like that. One more tip before we go of sustainability for our listeners. Do you have anything? I'm just quizzing you today.
Are you living off the grid?
No, not yet. Not yet. In my own mind.
She hasn't bought her tiny
In my own mind, I like to think I'm kind of off grid.
I want a tiny house, like somewhere off the grid. Secretly.
Yeah, I know everyone's like, kumbaya, sustainability, hippie chick vibes.
You're like a punk rock sustainability. Like,
yeah, kind of. I'm like kind of beefing for the environment right now. I'm like, back up, guys. Like,
yeah.
Don't be causing no more damage. Last sustainability tip, I would say any effort matters. Like, don't be discouraged. Like, it's a lot more than just the individual. A lot of this stuff is beyond just what the individual can do. So have active hope if you're pursuing something. If you're working in advocacy, don't feel like you're wasting your time. if it's important to you, then do the things that that feel feasible for you. Like don't break your back over these things.
Right. And your means.
Because in sustainability,
Do
like
your
like
best.
yourself, like your energy wise, like it shouldn't be something that's like so laborious that you cannot maintain it. So it's supposed to be something that is maintainable.
Yes. I
So
like
yeah,
that.
don't be discouraged. Just keep working on it. Make goals. The
Do
little
your
things
best.
count. Encourage your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Share your success with your friends. It's inspiring.
It is. It really is I think, outlet for people is just to like share ideas and share hope and dreams together.
Yeah.
Remember the 4 agreements, guys. Do your best.
Yeah.
Don't make assumptions. Be clear with your words. What was the other one? Oh, and don't take things personally, all right?
Yeah.
All right. I know that's a hard one,
That's
people.
a big one.
I know that's a huge one because
It's a joke.
I used to
It's
take
all a
things
joke.
so personally, and like when I was younger, and I realized, you know what? A lot of the times, and not in a bad way, it's not about you. Like a lot of
It's
times,
not. It's really not.
so many people have their own world happening inside of them, and they don't realize that they're causing these things sometimes. So it's like you have to let those go and realize it's not about you. It's not, don't let your ego or whatever get hurt or whatever, because it's not about that. All right, this is my fun facts for today. I feel like we really helped some people today. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm like, this was a great therapy session. Thank you
I really,
so much.
yeah, this is cathartic. Next week we're gonna have Naquan of Nazareth, the rapper Nathan, old bud of mine. Known him since he was born, basically, and he's doing some stuff, music master, and all that good stuff. We'll have him probably next week, and I think the week after Ro/Tsunami.
I don't think she's.
Tsunami
I don't
is
think
so
that's gonna
cool.
She is
happen.
so busy, dude.
It's not gonna
Tsunami's rad.
happen.
And I fucked up this week where it was maybe gonna happen, but I think she needed to do it later. So that Monday she just wants to do it at like a 9 o'clock.
We've tried getting her on the BS show. She doesn't.
So we'll see. We've been in contact. I have a lot more guests, but we're changing up for the next few weeks with like mostly non-comedians. Let's shake it up. Shake up your vibes. Go do something also that you want to do, but that makes you slightly uncomfortable.
Amen.
Push yourself into like things that like new things, guys.
We're growing.
Good for longevity.
Springtime, y'all.
Yes.
Springtime.
I feel it in the air. Feel it. You hear my allergies?
Can
The
you
seasons
feel
are
it?
changing. I sound like a child going through puberty, a little boy.
We can live there again.
I sound
for a
like my
minute.
nephew.
Your nephew.
My nephew was like, "Do I sound like a woman?" I was like, "No, I sound like a little boy going through puberty." He's 12, so he has like the voice dropping thing. Yeah. I have boy voice right now. Oh,
Someone might
man.
think it's sexy. Someone's gotta
Hey,
think it's sexy.
I've heard I have like phone sex voice, which whatever. I miss that era.
I've always said you had NPR voice.
NPR voice.
You do have NPR voice.
My uncle says I have a news voice.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hi, I'm relaying
You and
really
Sarah-
awful news,
You
but very
and Sarah
calmly.
Kennedy both have NPR
Me
voice.
and
Sarah
Sarah
Kennedy.
Kennedy could do like really sad things with a nice soft spin.
I feel
Everyone
more
is
SNL.
dying, everyone, but let's be nice. Yeah, when Sarah was stripper.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I can see it now.
Oh, I love that.
And you probably would be so bugged by all the strippers, you would like hate your job.
Oh, I hated
that's
my
so
job
funny.
when I was a DJ.
Were you a DJ at a strip club?
Yeah, not a strip club.
Oh,
but
damn.
Many bars.
Many
Many
bars.
bars. We've been in the bars.
Many bars.
Man, I love it here. I love all you do. Thank you for being such a great part of the community. We need more.
Thank you.
We need more Victorias.
My
Solita.
pleasure.
Follow Solita. Go to Art Walk. See all the events. Go
Yeah.
buy a drink. Go get a shot. From
Come get a shot.
Go get a
I'll tell you,
shot.
you're great. You're inspiring. I love you all.
Yeah, don't tell her to mix you a drink.
Yeah, I know.
just
Unless
wants
you're feeling
shots.
brave. You're
Yes.
feeling brave. But if you know, then you know.
And those of you who are new
You know how
in
to make an old fashioned?
Oh yeah, baby.
All right, cool.
I make
She's got it.
good old fashions.
she's on it.
Nice.
And those of you who are confused or new to comedy, Founders is during the winter seasons. This spot on Monday is the same mic. It just moves to Inside Out April 1st, right?
Yes.
And you manage that, and you'll be bartending. Come say hi. I'm usually there. It's a rad spot. All right, guys. I love you all so much. Be good to yourselves. Self-care. Bye,
Yeah.
Patty. Bye, Larry.
You're doing
Thank
great.
you, Victoria.
Thank you.
It's me,
Love you
Carla V.
all.
Bye.